Hey guys, welcome back to the Black Belt Husband Process, and I want to talk with you guys a little bit today about this concept called relationship leverage. It's a concept I talk a lot about with the guys in my mastermind, and I just want to share this video with you and kind of maybe give you a little bit of an introduction to what does this kind of concept mean. So when we think about leverage in relationships, or even leverage just in any kind of aspect of life, it's kind of like this idea of like, what influence do we have over people, places, and things? You know, what are the levers that we can turn to make an impact in our life, to have autonomy and have control over our life? So what happens in relationships and in marriages, a lot of guys feel really stuck in the sense that they don't have any leverage. It feels like they have to give in to the demands of their wife, or they have to appease their wife, or they have to accommodate her, or they have to not get the things that they're wanting out of life and out of relationship. It feels like this sense of like they don't have any power, okay? And when we feel like we don't have any power in relationships, it's because we don't have any relationship leverage. And I'll share this really quick story with you, and it's something I talked about with the guys in my mastermind, but it's a story about me getting a new motorcycle for Father's Day. So I posted on Instagram that I was going to get this new motorcycle for Father's Day, and a lot of guys asked me like, "Oh, you know, how does your wife kind of let you get that motorcycle?" Because my wife would never let me get a motorcycle. And so we ended up having this really great conversation about why I'm able to do that in my relationship and why other people can't do that in relationships. And because I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else watching this, I'm explaining to you this concept of relationship leverage and how I'm able to get ultimately what I'm wanting out of relationships because I have a lot of leverage in relationship. Okay, so I'm going to draw something for you to help you make sense of this. Okay, so this is a little T chart that says relationship leverage. Okay, and so this is the way we're going to think about this. So in all relationships, we have two people that sometimes want different things. So if I say in a relationship, if I want to have more sex, I want to golf with friends, or I want to get a new motorcycle. And I'm just using these as examples because these come up a lot for guys in relationships. So if I want this in relationship, how do I achieve something like this in relationship? Because maybe she would say, no, no, and no. Maybe she says, hey, you golf too much with your friends. There's no way you're going to get a motorcycle, and I'm totally okay having sex once a month, so what's your problem? And so we feel kind of stuck. We feel like, oh my gosh, what feels important to me is something that I can't have in relationships. And so a lot of guys get frustrated, a lot of guys get disillusioned, and they end up having a really hard time in relationships. In a worst case scenario, they end up just kind of putting a big grenade in the relationship and blowing everything up because they can't figure out a way to get what they want. So here's where relationship leverage works in relationships. So if I want these things in relationship, what I have to understand is, what does she want? And this is where it goes back to everything in this experience, in this black belt husband process. She wants to feel attached. She wants to feel important. She wants to feel like she matters. She wants to feel like she's empowered. Ultimately, what she wants to feel is emotionally safe. If I can give my wife all of these ingredients in order to feel emotionally safe, it gives me a ton of leverage in the relationship. So when I go to her and I say, hey, I want to get a motorcycle, there is this unconscious dance that's happening between us. Even if she doesn't want me to get a motorcycle, she knows that if she plays hardball with me and says no, 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 that she's at risk of losing all these really important things. And we don't even ever have to talk about it. It's a totally unsaid thing, but it's what happens in all relationships. All relationships, there's this unconscious dance between two people who have competing needs. What does she want versus what I want? See, the problem with so many guys in relationships is they don't know how to create this emotional safety. And so the wife doesn't feel attached. She doesn't feel important. She doesn't feel like she matters. She doesn't feel empowered. And so it's easy for her to say no, 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 because there's nothing at risk for her to lose, which means that the guy doesn't have any leverage. So I want you to understand, the more we can provide this stuff in our relationship, the more we're going to have access to the things that feel really important to us. That's what this Black Belt Husband process is all about. It's all about creating tons of emotional safety, which in turn creates tons of emotional leverage, which in turn allows us to get everything that we want in our relationship. So when you think about relationship leverage, I want you to really ask yourself, where do you kind of stand in this T-chart? Are you frustrated? Are you not getting what you want out of a relationship? Are you not having the sex life that you want? Are you not able to spend time with your friends? Is she always kind of putting up roadblocks and saying no? The answer and the way out is creating tons of relationship leverage, which is built through creating a whole bunch of emotional safety in relationship. The more emotional safety we have in relationship, the more leverage we have, and the more that we're going to be able to get what we want out of a relationship. Okay? See you at the next video.